Good morning, everybody. It's that time, a brand new collection from Carnation Crafts. Honestly, who would not love to make cards like this? The collection is called Stay a While. It includes this fantastic mechanism that you can see as well, which makes your card even more dimensional than it already is. But the frame around here that you get in the collection just draws the eye. It draws you in to the most serene surroundings, whether it's the cottage, whether it's the country church, whether it's the little cute characters, the bench or the swing to sit on and to have fun on. This is a gorgeous collection that is proven to be so popular already. A very good morning. I hope you're well. Great to have your company. I'm Dave. I'm with you for the launch of this particular collection today. Carla's here, Taz is here as well. The team are here. And you're already loving this collection. So much so that 35% of Stay a While has already gone since we gave you a tease on this on Facebook yesterday. And also we've got some nested dies that are also proving popular. But let's just show you what you're going to get for this brilliant price. The main heart of the collection, Into the Scene, that's what it's called. These wonderful nesting dies that you've got there to make the most amazing frames. And it really does kind of frame the scene beautifully. Obviously you can have the scenes without the frame, but the frame really, I think, finishes it off and draws the eye in beautifully. All these wonderful floral corners that you've got there as well. You've also got over here the rolling hillsides. You've got that fantastic townhouse street that you can see there as well, the beautiful little cottage too, which you can put in the countryside wherever you choose to. Over here you've also got the village bounds as well, with all the planks of wood that you can see as well, so you can add that to the scenery. Down on the front you've got that beautiful that wonderful arched tree that really again sets the scene and frames the scene beautifully. The bench, very serene, very relaxing. Little characters there as well. You've got your squirrels, you've got little birds too. That beautiful majestic church, it's spectacular. The whole thing is just $109.99 with your discount. It should be $134.99 and it will go up to that price later in the week, of course. But if you get it today on launch day, always the best day to buy the launches of the collections, it's just £109.99. If I show you some other finished cards, this is another one using the mechanism as well. Fiona Abbott of the design team has done this. But look here, this time you've got the cottage in the background, the little bird house with a little bird sitting in front of it as well, squirrel on the bench there, but pull the little arrow and the whole thing becomes even more dimensional. How spectacular are these? If you're using the nesting dies that I'll show you in a minute, you can use them in this way. And aren't they very different nesting dies? They're spectacular. That church is gorgeous. And as ever with Carnation and collections, their thank you to you is not only the discounted price, but also the fact that the artwork is there for you to print off from Carnation's website right now. So buy the collection right now. The guys at Carnation will pick, pack and post it within a matter of minutes. As soon as you place your order on our website, they'll be on it. And you might even get it tomorrow, that's been known. But then of course, just go to the website, go to downloads and click on free downloads and you'll see the artwork for this, the vignettes as we call it, for the Stay a While collection. All of that is there for you to print off free today and free in the future as well. Now, if you were liking the look of the nesting dies, this beautiful ornate frame around the edge. These nesting dies, we've got these available for you. There's 6 of them in total, called Petals and Paper Squares, Petals and Paper Diamonds. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the rectangles, and I think a similar number in most of the others. All of these together, with that beautiful ornate edge all the way around the outside, they are $139.99, and since yesterday, 20% of that has now gone as well. Product number for this is 240813. We'll say hello to you on Facebook and YouTube as we go through the show as well, but the way to order, if you'd like to, is to go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. You'll see it there, pop it in your basket, and it'll be with you in a matter of days. Carla's here.
Hey, lovely.
Hey, great to have you back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
It was lovely seeing Dawn last month as well, but it's great to have you back.
Always good to see Wheeler. Yeah, it is lovely to be here. I love Launch Week. Launch Week is my favourite weeks of all Carnation stuff because it's that fresh thing that we've been waiting for all of this time, when we know we're going to get those lifetime dies that are going to remain classic forever. These are the ones that are, it builds our tool set, doesn't it? And this is no stranger to that. The card shape is extraordinary. The rest is as well. But as we talk you through this, this is a work of art, without a shadow of a doubt. You've got your card base, you have got your mat and your layer here, and then we change. You see the wee little gap here? We've got an archway. It's got an opening at the bottom. Why is that important? Why does it matter? It matters because what we're looking at is the idea of changing how apertures look. Apertures are incredibly hard to get right when we're making them, but when we've got something that gives us apertures already, that helps, right? It means that a lot of the work is taken out. Now, what that also means is we get to change with shape and dimension. How big do you want the aperture to be? Change your foam tape, build it up. It's up to you. You'll see it as we go through demo. On top of that, you've got this gorgeous placard sort of piece that sits in the middle. It's so pretty, isn't it? There's something Art Deco about it. And it's got these gorgeous edges on it. What does that mean? It means I can take a craft knife and I can just cut the pip lines. So if I want this to appear shorter, for instance, say like I wanted to do a layered piece and I wanted some perfect papers. Well, I've only got one die and it cuts that piece out. So that's fine. If I was to put, let's just say, for instance, some pink paper behind, so cut this in pink, then cut it in white. On the white one, what I can do is use these pip lines to cut down so that my second layer is smaller than my first, meaning I've instantly got layers. That's so important. Same way I can do it in the opposing way and have apertures. So I can have aperture and then aperture. So I can work inwards and I can build, and it is forever fulfilling. Then I can use that shape on the center point as a card shape itself. So suddenly I have got infinite options with this one card shape. It never ends. There are so many possibilities. Versatility, it's what it's about. I've also got this wonderful piece here and here. Odd shapes. These are what creates that gorgeous, gorgeous dimensional pop-up. And it allows you to build onto it. So I've got the two little panels here, it's sort of here. I'm going to show you how to use this in a second. Panel here, panel here. I can glue things onto those, and then as I move that back and forward with the arrow, that dimension will pop up. That card shape is so important. There's so much you can do with it. There are so many options with it. Don't want to use the pop-up? Don't use it. Want to use the pop-up? Put it in. It's up to you. Don't want to use all the layers? You do you. Absolutely no problem at all.
And it's so different.
Exquisite.
So different to any other card shape we've done before, isn't it?
It is. And I love the soft rounded edges at the top and then the straight line at the bottom. That window, it's because we're working with a die in this collection that is a church as well. It's got that kind of, it's evocative of that, isn't it? This idea of having, you know, it's not just a square window. It's not that. You've got this scene that we're walking into and it's like a window into the scene. We're building that storytelling foundation that we get with Carnation dies. So you've got all of that going through, lots of nested pieces here as well to build up those edges. We move on. These are incredible.
Wow.
Let me explain them. Into the scene card shape, it carries on from the one that we've just been looking at. We've got artwork for them all and we'll give you that for free. However, we've got these corners. You see how they go down incrementally in size? So for the first time that I've seen, we have got the most extraordinary ability to build layered corners. That's incredible. Why does it matter? Well, because if I want to put something on here and then lay that one on top of it, this will poke out. Then I can put something on here and put that one on top of it, and I'm building layer by layer. If you think of it, I'm just going to say this in terms of my brain, but if you think of a nativity scene where you want to have those pieces sort of in layers, those box frames that we make for cards, this is exactly what I mean by those. You're going to create that box element by having layer upon layer upon layer. Perspective, perspective, perspective. It works every time. These are fundamentally some of the most extraordinarily wonderful corners I've ever seen.
Could you also cut those out, say 4 times, and make them into a frame?
Absolutely, make them into a frame, and you've got different sizes for different cards for those as well. You can do so much with these. They're incredible. And then we've got decoupage elements. You'll notice that the decoupage elements here are pretty good size for these ones. However, they're too then big for these ones. But that doesn't matter, and I'll show you why. As we go through, these big ones look brilliant on here because they pop. So even if they're too big, they pop. Okay, so don't just think, oh, well, I can only use those ones as decoupage. These have to be something else. Not so. These also look gorgeous when they're on that tree, and you'll see the tree in the middle. It really brings the tree to life. Beautiful, stunning elements. That's your in the scene card shape. Then we've got your village grounds, and I love this.
Well, you can personalise them.
These have got, so your vignettes will have the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s club. So for birthdays, we are all set. Or you can have a blank one, okay? The blank one, there it is. So I'm just showing you the artwork there. You can stamp on that. You can cut away the welcome to if you want it to be different. You can cut away the legs, so you'll just use the placard. All right? You've got all of those elements. You've got your brick wall here, and I love it when they do the Cotswold walls. It's perfectly bendable, and I can just add it in and make a row of them, which is really, really nice. But then I can use the shorter one next to it, so I've got almost this idea of a sty that you can walk over, which is super cute. I've got the walls as well in wood on different sorts of plateaus as well, so I can do different work with those. Then this gorgeous fence work. But again, I've got individual pieces here, so I can use those differently as grounding devices. I can build different elements with it. I've got the hedge, the small rectangular square hedge. You'll see we're going to come to those cottages. Do you want a small one for that small cottage or a big one for that gorgeous grand church? What are you building? How many scenes are you building? Is that cottage going to sit behind the church to build perspective? Which way are you going with it? Boundless. We want it to be boundless, and that's what we get with Stay a While. It's incredibly beautiful as well.
I know it's called Stay a While, but I move in.
No, Dave, I don't think they want you there permanently, Dave.
Oh.
It's just Stay a While.
Okay.
Dave, you've got to go eventually. Right, then you've got these. Now, clever again. I've got my row of houses here, which are beautiful, and I've got my little cottage. I've then obviously got my countryside scene, so I can sit the little house at the front here. I can sit this behind these set of houses, or I can sit them in front. It doesn't matter. And I've got my beautiful sort of extra piece of grass. Now, I don't know if it's here. I don't think it is, but we're going to give you this in two colourways. When I say two colourways, what I mean is this. We've got a very faded colourway. And then we've got one that's much darker. That means I can have the elements that are in the background and elements that are in the foreground. And that shade of colour, as it gets closer to the front, that gets stronger. That's what we want by, those elements that we're looking at. That's what we need. It creates so much dimension and perspective. It's so incredibly important to the way we craft.
Carla, just to interrupt you, this has obviously hit a very, very, very popular collection this year, loving it. 40% now of the entire stock has gone. And we've got 3 shows today and potentially 2 shows tomorrow. So this is one of the quickest selling kits and collections I can remember, to be honest.
Because we know fundamentally, don't we, that we need those tools. That card shape, it is mind-blowing. And then when you get these elements and you're building those scenes, and it doesn't matter what occasion for. Look at this church. Exquisite. Exquisite. Really stunning.
Taz was saying it reminds her of a church near where she lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you have those elements, the gorgeous little country walkway. Look how this has been designed. When I say everything is done with intent with Carnation, that's exactly what we mean. You see how you've got the wee cutout coming into both of those sides? Do I want to put a hedge maybe in there? Do I want to put one of the little cottages in there? How am I going to fill that space? Am I going to use one of the extraordinary backing papers that we'll give you for free? What are you building? How are you building it? There's a million different cards to make in this one collection. A million different cards that you can make. It's never going to be the same. It just becomes... Look at this.
Well, you can build your own town, build your own village, really, can't you?
Yeah. How insane is that board? Look at that. Did they force you to have the tree one size? No. How do you want to build it? Are you going to put this in front and maybe use those cut lines to cut a little bit away? Are you going to put it behind? How tall do you want the tree? You choose. This is about you having the power over your craft.
But also, if you want the tree to be a right-facing tree, you've got the vignettes, the double-sided vignettes that you can use for left and right.
100%. Then we've got your little bird houses, which are so sweet. This one being super iconic, isn't it? And then you've got the bird feeder as well. So all of those gorgeous elements, because we do sit and look at the trees with the birds in, don't we? We love watching little birdies come and to have their food. I've got 2 little bird houses in my house, in my garden. I love it. And then you've got that gorgeous swing that will hang from the tree, which is so sweet and so lovely. The idea I said yesterday, it's like the Jane Austen thing. It's that gorgeous, it's evocative of summer days. So many elements. Do you have to use them all? No. Would that do in a winter card? 100%. Where are you going with it? We've got a million collections this will mix and merge with. That is stunning.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely stunning. We don't stop. We don't stop. We've got the bench. Now, for some of you, that will have very significant meaning. I know lots of us have paid for memorial benches for loved ones, those kind of things, and it's beautiful for that. For the rest of us, it can just be that summer's day. That perfect, let's take a seat, let's just watch the world go down. Let's have some peace, some calm, and some joy in our life. And isn't it stunning? We don't just get the bench, of course. We get grounding devices. We've got a little picnic blanket here. There's the little birds that are so sweet. They're busy eating all the seeds. Really sweet. And they can be in the trees as well, obviously. We've got 2 squirrels that face different ways. He's eating something possibly from the picnic, and this one's looking like, hello, what can I do for you? I've got a bouquet of flowers, and that can sit on that bench, or it can be a piece on its own. I've got a little, maybe that's a sandwich that's all wrapped up, or maybe it's a gift. I used to love it when my mum used to make me sandwiches in greaseproof paper. Then you've got a little suitcase here, lunchbox. You've got a little apple. Cut that loads of times, you've got an apple tree.
Maybe you go to the park bench in your lunch hour to eat your sandwiches.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's your flask. So the options are literally infinite with this collection. It's such an important collection.
It's reminding Taz of something.
Sorry, I know that you're being serious, but the squirrels look like they're talking about you.
Probably.
Could be.
Whispering.
It's going to take the apple.
Whispering in the other one's ear.
Going to steal. They're sneaking, and they're going to steal the lunchbox. But no, those apples, cut it loads of times. Remember the tree? Have an apple tree. You've got different bills. You could have the florals coming off, so it's almost a blossom tree. Have your apples, so you've got an apple tree. Stay a While is one of the most important collections. You must get hold of that in order to be able to make all of these cards. We're going to go through some finished samples. Please don't miss out on it while you've got a discount on it, because I know you're going to kick yourselves later down the line. It is absolutely wonderful.
Let me just say hi to some of you on social media this morning. Suzanne Page is watching us in bed. Hi, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
Karen Slade says, good morning, Dave, Carla, Miss Taz, and all the Carnation Army. Wow, what a collection. Couldn't resist. Bought it last night. Yeah. Also, the nesting dies, as I think they are stunning. Absolutely, they are, Karen. Morning, Carla, Dave, and Miss Taz. Oh, the nested dies, by the way, a quarter of the entire stock of those is gone. So a lot of people thinking the same as Karen there. Rachel McCourt says hi to myself, Carla, and Taz. Pearl Farrier says, hi there, Carla, Dave, and Miss Taz. The fellow crafters as well, ready for this collection. Looks amazing. Jenny says, a refreshingly cooler Holdenhurst village in Bournemouth is where she is today. That's near me. Hi to you. Stacey says, got absolutely everything. Pure no-brainer. Hope everyone's okay. We're all fine. Thank you, Stacey. I want to show you some finished cards as well. Let me show you a few more. This is using that wonderful kind of curved frame again. Janine Dawson of the design team has done this. There's the welcome sign with the 30s club. I didn't realise that you had the choice of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and so on. That's really cool.
We'll get you the 80s, Dave.
Thanks. I feel like it this morning. There's the swing with the little squirrel going for a little swing. Can't beat a swing. Then you've got, there's another one there as well. Really lovely. You know, is this taking you back to little villages or towns that you went to maybe on holiday when you were younger, or you take the grandkids out? Maybe it's a village that's near you. Maybe that church reminds you, like Taz, of a certain church nearby where you live right now. And again, that could be for a wedding. It could be for a sympathy card. But equally, just look at that. It makes you want to go there, doesn't it? It's the sort of town and village that you'd go out of your way to visit, go to the local pub, meet the locals, go to the local coffee shop, sit on that park bench and watch the world go by.
While you've got that in your hand, can you just take a look at the faded vignette at the back?
Yeah.
That faded artwork that makes it appear as if it's in the background, then that pop of colour at the front. They are so important. And there is a different vignette if you want to bring that forward that's slightly darker. You've got both choices to play with. It's incredible.
Now, let me just quickly remind you of the nesting dies. Now, these are very, very different. They're groundbreakingly different. Look at the detail around the outside of the frame. It's absolutely superb. It's called Petals and Paper. As I mentioned, a quarter of the entire stock has gone since we teased you with this yesterday on Facebook Live. It's $139.99, but look at the number of dies you're going to get, and also the infinite possibilities of what these nesting dies can do for you, for apertures, for frames, for matting and layering, and so on. If you would like them today, you're going to get every shape: rectangular, DL, circular, oval, diamond and square for $139.99. Should be $167.94, and you've got the boards for them.
I have got the boards. I'm actually going to ask you if you can pass me one of those, please, Dave.
Anyone?
I'll give you it back. It doesn't matter which one. So I want to talk to you about these because Dave has rightly just said, oh, well, it's got the 6 dies in it, and you can see where you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't have 6 dies in it. Sorry, Dave, not to show you up. It actually has double that amount. Now, when you're looking at them, if I just, sorry, Carnation, but I'm just going to open this.
Ah, right.
1,
2 for each one.
2 for each one. Why? Well, because it's majorly important. That's why we talked about this in the Facebook Live yesterday, but if you missed it, let me discuss then why it's important. If you look at this, You've got your card base as such, it's your nested. Then you've got the one on top of it, which would be a matte layer or an aperture or any of those things. If I was to cut one of these as an aperture, I'm going to get a weird shape, right? I'm going to get the opposite, the negative shape for my aperture going in, which can look very effective. It's beautiful. I might not want it. I might want to have just a rounded inside for the inside of my apertures. And again, we don't want to be boxed in. And these are, I've been waiting for ages for Carnation's next nested. I love them. I get so excited when they release a new nested. Can we take a moment to focus on the detail that comes in on the embossing for a start? They are so beautiful. I'm just going to hold this up. Sorry, Taz. Look at the embossing on that. Because they didn't just start with nested, did they? They gave us, look at that. Take a moment to understand the quality that comes from a Carnation die every single time.
The detail is phenomenal.
There is nothing wasted on Carnation. They are beautiful. And they seat together in the most wonderful way. I've got some of those pieces which will have, which I've used for apertures and various other ways in demo. Have a look at the inspiration you get for them. These are stunning. And they lay up so well. So you have got your ovals. Can I give you that back so I don't lose it?
Sure.
Ovals. Then you've got your gorgeous rectangles. Petals and papers. Rectangle. Absolutely stunning. Look at it. It's lace. It's absolutely beautiful. Circles. Think of your easel cards coming forward. Think of you doing your 8x8 with a circle in between them. Absolutely stunning. Or just a circle card. DL, my favourite shape. I love DL cards. Gorgeous piece in the middle, isn't it? If you want to put those longer line sentiments on them or create bookmarks, they're absolutely stunning. You've got your diamonds coming through here. Again, on those, if you're doing a DL to put a diamond on top of it, they look exquisite. Nested dies are always going to be super important. There's your squares. That's a full collection, but not just a full collection of nice nesteds. We get lots of nice nested from lots of different companies. These are a set of exquisite dies, aren't they? Exquisite nested. We need that impact on our cards. It's what sets us aside from every other crafter out there. We have the detail that nobody else does. That's why people keep coming back to Carnation. Now, it's so important.
I just want to show you some of the finished samples from the design team with these nested dies, so it gives you an idea of how you can use them, what you can do with them. Fiona Abbott, hi Fiona, you've done this one. Look at that beautiful tranquil scene of the cottage in the rolling hills, but just look at how effective those nesting dies are. They're spectacular. Carla said that DL is her favourite. Look at that, with that incredible curved tree, which I think is so spectacularly beautiful. Again, you can have two of them cut out, one pointing left, one pointing right. They can meet in the middle, so it creates like an archway of the tree with the foliage. That would look amazing. But again, look at the beautiful nested die around the outside edge. A square and a circle together. Would you think of doing that? Well, Janine did, and I think you'll agree that that is spectacular. Another DL quickly as well. White on white is sometimes the most effective. Look at that one.
Isn't that stunning?
Yeah, that's a tent card.
Just keep that where you are. So on that, where you've got the aperture in there, can we just focus on 2 points in the centre, what I was trying to explain a minute ago, very, very ineloquently. I've got the shaping coming around the outside of there. Then we've used the main square frame to bring down this aperture. Then we're using the shaped one underneath it. Can you see how effective that is?
Yeah.
And you'd see, because this is framing out the embossing on the inside, you get this extraordinary visual strength when you're looking at it. It's interesting from every angle. That's why they're important.
A few more of you on Facebook to say hi to. Suzanne Page. Hello, Suzanne. She says, where's the message? Oh yeah, back on the naughty creative step again today. She's never off it at the moment. Love the church. It takes me back to when I was a child with my nan. It made me cry. Oh, bless you. Diane Toddington says the lady from the Vintage Dreams sitting on the bench or swing.
That would be really nice.
That would work.
Really nice.
Pauline Thorne says, morning everyone, ordered mine last night. And hi to Karen Richardson as well. Everybody is loving this collection. Now, I don't want to kind of force anyone or rush anyone to go for this, but to have 40% gone on the launch show, and we're only, what, 25 past 9, and for a quarter of the nesting dies to have gone already as well, this is going quickly, everybody. So if you would like it, if you want to pay with PayPal, lots of you do that. PayPal Pay in 3 to spread the cost, you can do that. Or you can pay, of course, with any debit or credit card. £109.99. It's free UK P&P because you're spending over £50. So this will be picked and packed and possibly even received by you tomorrow. That's that's how quickly Carnation work. It depends on your postal service where you live, obviously, but it will be with you in a matter of a day or two, and you could be creating these most amazing scenes. Everyone's version of this will probably be totally different. I can imagine lots of you trying to recreate memories from earlier in your life, or holidays that you've been on, or weekends, or way that you've been on with friends. But I think to have this beautiful framed die set in the middle, that is a wonderfully effective way of drawing the eye, taking you into the scene, and it's very three-dimensional as well. And to have the fact that you've got that slider mechanism, I know Carla's going to show you in a minute, it's subtle, but very effective. There is the scene completely flat. Pull the slider, and that front portion just comes out even more and makes it even more inviting, draws you in even more.
Well, it's about dimension, isn't it? It's about the fact that when you pull that forward, especially with those vignettes, you walk now, don't you? You can see the pathway. You want to walk into the card. That interactive moment with that card is then something that draws the recipient into it, and actually us as the creator. You're bringing a world to life, and so you bring that forward, and it offers you more in that landscape that you're looking at, that the card base is.
Well, Jan Bird's come up with an idea. She said, I wonder if Carnation might bring us a set of people to go with this collection. Well, we did mention that the lady from Vintage Dreams will work on the swing.
There's loads that'll work. There's also the lady who does the gardening with the dog, and there is the gentleman gardener as well. There are the couple from Water's Edge that would work with this too. You're taxing my brain remembering the people, but there's lots of different ones that would work with it. But lots of different creatures too that would work in this scene for different elements, and lots of various different pieces from different collections that we've had, such as blossoms, florals. You can change it up so much with everything that you've already got, and that's the power, isn't it? Where do you want to go?
And again, what Carnation have done is brilliant, because you've got perspective. You've got things that are in the foreground that are prominent, like the bench, for example, and the tree. Then you've got things that are in the distance, like the rolling hills and the cottages, and that sort of thing too. So it is a whole scene that draws you in. Absolutely spectacular. This. Stay a while is the collection. Pop it in your basket and check out, and it'll be with you in next to no time. Is the mechanism to do the pop-up easy to do?
No, it's really hard. The mechanism is, you need a degree to do it. It's really easy. So you've got two elements here, and that's all done for you essentially. You've got this piece here, which when you cut it, that little piece in the middle will just pop out. From there, I've got a score line there. I've got a score line here and one here. That's as technical as it gets, I'll be totally straight. I've got the little arrow point at the top, and from there I can take this and I can just move that score line and pull it down. So that's my work done on that one, okay? It is really simple. Let's score this one, or let's burnish this one. Fold and fold and fold. Okay, so what I've now got is my box. Okay, that's the pop-up mechanism. I need it to fold down and I need it to come up. That's where the arrow comes in, because that's what's going to allow it to work that way. I've got a wee cutout here, so I'm going to pop my arrow into the little hole just inside, and that's going to be my pulley. That's then got that stopping mechanism. Can you see it's not just going straight back in? There is also another little triangle that sits on here. So for instance, if you're cutting this out in perfect papers, you might want to put that little triangle in on the perfect papers. That will kind of disguise the arrow a little bit as well, so it has that convenience.
Could you also use this pop-up mechanism on other collections, or is it just uniquely for this?
Use it wherever you want, dude.
Good.
There are no crafting police. So I've now got that, and that actually works as my stopper at that side. Can you see where I've got it just tucked in? Okay, yep. That's it.
That's it. You
can see it's really difficult. Really, really difficult. Now, I need to glue this to this. Now, you can do it with wet glue. My advice, do it with some red liner. I'm going to do it with wet glue so you can all see it. But obviously, red liner tape always going to be your strongest method. You just chuck a bit on. Make sure it's the right width for it. It goes for standard red liner tape, so you can do it that way. It will be stronger that way. That's my advice. I'll do it for wet glue. For those of you that don't have it, don't use red liner at home and might want to use the wet glue. But this will take longer to dry, and it will be stronger with that red liner. Pull that forward, stick the two together so you close in that mechanism and let it dry. You're just going to hold it and pin it. And that's it. That's your mechanism done. Now, I'm going to do a demo with this mechanism in a second for you. When I do that demo, I will explain to you where your adhesive goes on the back, because that does matter. Okay, because if I interfere with the mechanism, ain't going to move because it's going to stick. So you don't want to be interfering with that mechanism. You can see from the back, this section has to be free and easy.
Yeah.
All right, if you glue that to the card, ain't going to move. You can only use adhesive on that point. So
Okay,
there you go.
You're mentioning perfect papers. Haven't shown them to you yet, but if I just hold up this card quickly and put it next to the palette of colour you've got with the perfect papers, you can see why that they are an absolute boon and a must-have to go with your main collection, because it just means your collection is going to be more versatile. You can make it go further, be more experimental with what you do them and how you make your cards. But look at these colourways here. Some of them have got a pattern on them, and the rest of them are block colours. So you've got your beautiful shades of green, your different shades of pink in there as well. There's an off-white and a cream in there too. But just seeing the colour of the vignettes on that card, it's the perfect way to make your collection go that much further. So the perfect papers are 48 sheets of A4, 300 GSM, 6 colour variants in total, and they're only £14.99. If you've already ordered your collection, haven't gone for your perfect papers, just go back to the website, order them, and you'll get that, of course, sent out separately. 240820, £14.99 for your perfect papers.
Stunning, aren't they?
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful. The green in those perfect papers is just divine. Right, I've cut out that main card shape twice, so this is the same as always, of course. For those of you who haven't seen this demo before, just to show you, yes, Taz?
Someone asked what the size of the card shape was. Is that the largest die?
This is the largest die. The largest die is 7.5 by 5, near enough.
Brilliant.
Does that help?
Yep.
Right, so taking this, I'm going to remove my red liner tape. I'm going to fold that down and fold it toward my body so that I can then take the next one, shuffle without getting into a tangle with my adhesive, and then I can push that down so I've got my perfect card shape. Works a treat every single time. I'm just going to move that slightly nearer to myself so that I can try and get some mats and layers without putting my head into the camera. We'll see. Right. Can we just? Beautiful colours. There's always a beautiful Pantone, isn't there, with Carnation? It's always really, really beautifully done.
I love the subtlety of the colours that Carnation do.
Well, Carnation, listen, one thing Carnation are, I think, if somebody said to me, describe Carnation's artwork to you, I think the first thing I would say, other than innovative and all the rest, but if they said describe the artwork, I'd say it's gentle.
Yeah.
They have this really gentle class and elegance about them, and the colourway that they use in the perfect papers, it matches that. So we always have lovely cards at the end of it. You can't make a bad card with Carnation. It's not even remotely offensive, is it?
No.
There's nothing offensive about Carnation, luckily. Right, then we're going to put this on. Place. I'm using 3mm here. Push and pull. Now,
you do that so well.
Let me talk to you about this wonderful archway that I am so smitten with. Okay, look at that. Now, I have got that on a 5mm now. Can you see my chunk? Mm-hmm. I've taken it right up. Why? Well, because I want the aperture. Now, if I do it on lower, my aperture will be lower, and you've got that choice. But when I lift this, you can see the distance that comes down here. So I get that lovely, lovely chunk in between my layers, which means I'm walking into the scene, and that's what we're trying to evoke here.
It's very theatrical.
It is very theatrical. Now, I'm going to take these off just at these points and here. And just take that. Now, I do need to remove these two. I'll remove it first and try and get it right. It's very difficult when I can't lean over. I do apologise, but nobody wants to see my big grey head come into shot. So I'm just going to put that there.
You've done your roots. That's all right.
I haven't. You can see when I lean over, Dave. I've got what looks to be a slight bald patch in the middle. It's just grey hair. I'm going to put that there. Push and pull.
Yep.
Yes, Taz, that was the wrong thing to say at the wrong time. She's looking at me and look at that.
Love it.
Because this already reminds me of rolling hills.
Yes.
You know, but that aperture, listen, how much do we struggle with apertures? I don't need to anymore. I've got those elements coming through that I can utilise. Now, I've got another piece, and you can do, obviously, these in colourways, or you can do them the white on white. I love white on white, and I think that's so pretty, just as it sits right there. So I'm going to place that on and frame. Mm-hmm. Many different ways to play with this.
45% of the main collection has gone. You're loving it. Thought you would.
It's sell out, isn't it?
And the nested, a quarter still of the stock of the nested dies is gone.
Let me place this through.
I don't know if we're going to have enough for 5 shows in total.
Yeah, it's going to be a... Well, as far as I'm aware, Carnation will still want to demo it, even if we've sold out.
Right.
Because the inspiration's there, isn't it? Let's place that on, okay?
Love it.
So you've got that beautiful point. I love that so much. It finishes it beautifully, doesn't it? And this shape in the middle is so pretty. From that, I've got then my panel on the inside. Okay, so I can make this panel smaller because I've got small snip points. My advice is if you're going to use those, and we will at some point in demo, I'm not going to do it just on this one. If you're going to do it with a craft knife. You can do it with scissors, of course you can. That craft knife will give you more pinpoint precision and really smooth out those edges that you're using it. So it's a really nice sort of way to go forward. Make sure you've got fresh blades on your craft knife, you'll get that really nice smooth cut. I can place this then inside and work like that. Now, because I've got the sort of very soft honey colour behind it, that will show. However, if I cut this smaller, more of that will show. So this is where it becomes expansive, because no matter what card I make, I can change it every single time. Now, I'm just going to use a little bit of wet adhesive on this.
And the only other way that you could do that or achieve that is to invest in like 4 or 5 different dies to get those different sizes. But by giving you the little pip points, it saved that expense, hasn't it?
It has. Not so with Carnation. They're so clever at thinking through what's going to make this, what's going to make it last further. You remember in the old days when people used to always cook in the 80s with mince because it went a long way and it was something that was so diverse, you could do so much with it. You want that, don't you? And you rely on those things. When we're investing in craft, we rely on something being versatile. It's something that's so important.
When you buy a collection, you don't want a one-trick pony.
No, Dave.
Definitely not.
And when you've got Dave, you don't want a one-trick Dave either, Dave. That's why we've got you, Dave. Right, I've got my elements coming through here. So I've got my rolling hillside. We work with mirrored vignettes at Carnation Crafts, and that means that I have optimum choices. So if you look at this, it's actually facing each other. There's the 2 main cuts, but because I've got mirrored vignettes, and that's the artwork from the Carnation Crafts website, which is simply www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and head to the download section, free downloads, and get your artwork for this. We'll give you it for free, and we'll give you your backing papers for free, and we'll give you your inserts for free. Can't say fairer than that. So because I've got these 2 pieces, it means I can lay one upon-st t'other.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, now I can choose which way to do that, but it means that I create a longer skyline, a longer expanse going through. Because I'm doing that, you can use the faded one behind, so it starts to get, so you've got the darker colour here and then fade out as well if you want to. But I can just pop these in. Now, obviously mine's not going to fit because of my glue, and that's fine. We're going to look at that in a second. But you can pop these in and you create this longer scene. All right, so it's already sitting there. What I need to do to make mine fit, obviously, is to make it fit within this space. And I've got those pieces there. I can have it over the edge with a distance, but it wouldn't quite look right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is commit my stick down at the bottom, so I've glued the 2 together. That's going to then allow me to cut and snip so that I can change the complete shape of this.
Look at that.
And I can work it my own way. That, my friends, is a country scene, right, already. But I've got to have some straight edges. So all I'm going to do is snip. Now, I'm obviously going to need to take some off both sides. And I'm just going to take some from here. I can work out my spacing. I know that I need to take a little more off these edges, so I can just come down and work through. I'm happy with the square edge because it's going to seat underneath, just like so. And I've got that glorious scene sitting in the background.
Isn't that stunning?
Easy, isn't it? Really easy. So simple. And that is, again, the versatility. I can snip, I can do, I can play, I can make it my own.
How many of you are thinking, oh, that reminds me of that weekend we had away somewhere in a hotel and you looked out your bedroom window to that
Dave.
view? Not that weekend.
Don't be giving away all our secrets, Dave. So I'm just going to place that in.
That could be the Yorkshire Dales, it could be the Devon countryside, anywhere.
It does look like the Shire.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you come from?
Where I come from, I took a photo very similar to that at the weekend. So I'm just going to play that in. Okay, so you've now got that scene. Obviously, I've got a cut-off point there. That's fine because I'm going to build those elements, so not a problem to me. Let's bring in some extra stuff then. I want to have a look at these corners that I am so smitten with. Love them.
It's so good they come in all those different sizes too.
It creates something wonderful. Right, let's bring in. Now I've got my pop-up mechanism here. Okay, so I'm going to be seating that at the front. Now I can choose to have it in the middle. It's easier if I pop it on that side for me, but it means I want to display at the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm not just leaving that naked white, because when I pull the mechanism, of course, if this is seated this way and it'll be glued and I push it back so that it lays flat, hold on because that's pinning in the wrong place. If I pin it, you see how it covers the whole card? But when I pull it forward, I don't really want that naked bit because I'm going to cover everything else. So the joy of this, of course, is that I can lay down a foundation colour behind. Clever, clever, clever.
Just fits beautifully, doesn't it?
It fits absolutely beautifully. So that when this mechanism is then working and it pulls forward, I've still got that on display. And when it seats back, that will just sort of be hidden with my next element seated on top. Okay, so you see how that works. It just gives you that hint of colour, and that's how I'm going to play this one. So the first thing I need to do is seat that in place.
I've got to say hello to some of you on YouTube. Janine is there, Sylvia George is there. Hi Sylvia. Pauline Ellerington is there too. Tracy Lester. Linda Poland says good morning Carla, Dave and Taz, and everyone. Hope everyone's okay. I bought the kits I want from this collection, but also a couple of nesting dies as well. So
well
bread
done.
and water for tea.
Bread and water for tea, it's worth it. Listen,
Yeah.
there's no better diet than a carnation diet. Right, so I'm going to bring this in, pull it forward, and that's my mechanism. On the back, I can see that if I pull my mechanism and push my mechanism, like I say, that's going to need to move. This can be glued. I've got to be careful about this point. You see the bit that overlaps there? That's part of my arrow. Just make sure you're not hitting that. The best way to do it is to pull the arrow completely out and then put your glue here.
Right.
You've got this point, and that's the point we're going to stick to. I don't think I've got a pen, and if I did, I would just draw that for you, but that is the point that which I would do it, okay? So just to show you. Now, red liner tape, again, going to be your best bet here, guys, and I am going to use red liner tape for it. You can use wet glue. The problem that I've got in here is the heat is so high in the studio that it's not drying quite quick enough for me, so I'm going to just come in with this.
And red liner tape, when you pull it, is never going to come away, is it?
No.
No.
That's how...
The strongest stick.
It is the strongest. I think it's why lots of people use it so often, isn't it? It's just that completely dependable piece that we've got. Lay that onto there. Just small amounts. Red liner tape is the best thing ever. So that mechanism then is going to work in and out as I go, and I'm going to stick this bit to that. So taking this off.
And don't forget all things like red liner tape, pin flared glue, everyday glue. You'll find that on the Carnation website as well. It's not just the dies and the perfect papers. It's a whole craft shop at carnationcrafts.co.uk. So
it is indeed. They've got go and have a ferret on their website. Plus, anything that's 3 months old, any collections, you can use your newsletter code and get 10% discount off. We like them apples. Right, so can you see now that my piece is working, the dimension is flowing on that, and everything is where I need it to be. So I get that beautiful shift. Now I'm just going to lift that up so you can see that then working. So it lays flat for postage, which is what we want, or it'll pull forward for that dimension.
Clever.
Wonderful, right?
Yeah.
So I've got this lovely piece. Now, obviously, I need to mirror that floral because otherwise it's going to look a little odd. In order to create that so that it sort of builds in the proper way, I'm going to use the taller one. So this one's slightly bigger. That's going to cover up my mechanism. It's going to leave a hint of a tint round here, and as that lifts, that will go with it, and I'll still have a nice corner there. You've got choices. I can bring that mechanism right up to full pelt, to there. I can seat and I can go, now where do I need to stick that? Okay, so you can see, and that's where I would stick it so that it does align in with what's underneath it. Because I know I'm still going to have some white, I can build in and add extras to that, which is what we'll do. So the first thing I'm going to do, now that I can visually see where that wants to be so that it's got a pretty finish, I can take this piece of wet glue, just pin this. I'm using more than normal, but it is because of the heat. I do apologise.
Hi to Vera Bow on
Vera
YouTube
Bow.
as well. Good morning to all. Yet another stunning collection. The nesting dies are a must-have. And Susan Tither says, morning all, terrific, absolutely terrific. What an amazing collection. So many possibilities. And the DT team have struck gold again, she says.
Dave Bradford, did you just turn that fan off with your ridiculous man hands? Thank you.
Turned it back on.
Right. I suddenly thought, oh no, has it broken? Please don't break. Please don't be hobby maker. Please don't break. So I've got that piece now, okay, so you can see the underside to it, and now I can start placing in and disguising this white edge, because it's not going to be the prettiest white edge, is it? So let's go in Add in some more. Build this up. Same again, just to cover up. I'm not too worried about it because I've got other elements too. I am going as fast as I can. And we've got lots of demos for you over the whole day today.
There's lots of love coming in for you as well. Kate Jude on Facebook says, morning Carla, Dave and Taz. Good to see you looking so well, Carla.
Thank you.
Another fantastic collection. Missed your unique demos. Brilliant show as usual, Kate Jude.
Well, it's easy to do unique demos when we have unique elements from a unique company that pioneer craft, that change everything for us and that create some of the most insanely wonderful building blocks for our craft to be on. I've just put glue on the top of that. Hold on. Right. So this one, I'm just going to place in at that point of arrow, which sounds like I'm talking in some kind of weird way, but yeah, you can see what I mean. So this is now cut. Look at that.
Oh, that
it's
looks
so
fantastic.
beautiful, doesn't it? So pretty. So I've laid that foundation. My foundation is on. I just want to show you very quickly with this, and I will be quick. I promise, I promise, I promise. I'm not going to shape it out too much, but I just want to show you, if I take my ball tool, I'm just creating a bit of a shape and a bit of a dimension so it just sits, so that I get that changing point as I lay this on. Just manipulating in, take my silicone gel glue, lots of it. Let's foundation this up and lay that in. Look at this. Look at my corner to corner.
Fabulous.
Now what I want to show you on that, and it is important for your aesthetics then, the joy. See my bench?
Yep.
Slot it between.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
Pin it, and then that silicone gel glue will keep it where I want it to be. Then I can pin it just by lifting and taking a piece that is attached to my left hand side, which is where that mechanism is going to pop up. Okay, so I've got it all coming through, and hold and pin. So that ain't going anywhere, right? That's going to sit where I want it to be. The bench will move with my dimension and open up that pathway behind, okay? So super, super sweet. Now, I want to disguise some of that white down there, so I'm going to start building in some different elements. The first thing that I'm going to do is put in my little cottage just in that background scene. So I'll layer this up just down here behind that bench, so it's a little poke. As you open it, you'll get that surprise cottage seated. So cute, right? So
sweet.
lovely. Really, really beautiful. And then let's bring in Welcome to the 20s Club. That's going to sit next to my bench. Just here at this side.
I've just seen a message from Sharon Tidmus. She said, morning Carla, what are you doing to me? I'm already on the naughty step after ordering the F1 on Hobby Maker.
There are no naughty steps.
So you got the laser machine coming your way.
Well done.
Now I have to have this collection too. Nice one, Sharon.
Because it's amazing. That's why. There's no naughty steps. There are only creative steps.
Exactly.
It's only about what makes us better crafters, isn't it? I've got the little hedge. I'm just going to tuck this in just at the bottom of that cottage. So I'm disguising more of that white point just as that seats in. So now I'm creating that perspective going up. And then finally, the pièce de resistance, it's not actually finally, but near enough finally, I promise. I'm going to bring this tree in.
Now this tree, Tanya on Facebook says, any chance we can have the tree as a Halloween vignette? I love the spookies.
Can I just say, wouldn't this be great with getting together for the Halloween set?
Yeah.
Can you remember getting together?
Vaguely.
The
You could do it in black card and have it like a silhouette. That would be quite spooky, wouldn't it?
Now, on this, I just want to show you, you know when I put this on here, I've got choices here. I've got the trunk of the tree, and I can build. So I can make my tree the size that I want it to be. I can put that on top or behind, okay? So I can build, I can change height, I can do variants. If you're using the layers on your corners, you can tuck and build.
Wow. That's
Okay.
spectacular.
and just make sure it's pinned where you want it to be pinned, but make sure it's not interfering with your mechanism, because your mechanism is all important. So if that tree is stuck too far to it, of course it's going to stop it from moving, which we don't want to have happen. So you've got to make sure each time that you're working. I'm just going to untrap that so that works on that scale. Where's my thingy trapped here? 1 second. So that shunts forward and back. So you've got all of your pieces coming together now, and this is where we're trying to create that dimension. You've got all the elements coming through. How do we tell the story? Well, we start adding more and more elements to it. And the way we, of course, do that then is to use the little extras that we've got seated here.
And you've got the little characters to tell stories as well, the little birds and the little squirrels.
So I've got some florals sitting on that park bench. I've got a little squirrel who's very busily thinking about stealing all of this packed lunch. He's just going to seat. And then I've got my little bird for the tree.
It could be someone's first meeting on the garden bench with a bunch of flowers.
Like a first date,
Yeah,
Dave.
it could be.
Well, that's exciting. And then a little bit
Bunch
here.
of flowers, packet of cheese and pickle, sorted.
Is that your preference?
I'm not fussy.
Cheese and pickle. I'm not a fan of pickle, Dave.
Oh yeah.
No. You know the Branson stuff, that
Oh,
it makes me
love
unhappy.
Love it.
I love cheese.
Maybe a Greggs sausage roll as well.
Cheese is life. Right, I'm very, very... Oh, I love a Greggs sausage roll. Steak bake, Dave, steak bake.
Thought that would go down well.
I'd be anyone else. You could ask me to marry me with a steak bake. I don't need an engagement ring. Just hand me a steak bake. I'm yours. It's fine. Right, let's
Greggs
take
gift
this.
card. There you go.
Ooh, that's like heaven, that. Let's just very quickly pull these round. Very, very fast. Sorry about the length of this demo. I did want to do one really full demo of this card shape for you, because I believe it is one of the most extraordinary card shapes you will ever own.
I agree.
And I think having a full demo of it, just allowing you all of those elements to see. I know we're running late. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No, we're not.
And then that through.
Loads of time.
Put some florals on there so it reflects back those corners that we've put in, those beautiful elements seated. And then finally, I've got my little packed lunch.
That's a perfect lunch, isn't it?
Is about to steal.
Perfect surroundings.
Perfect surroundings.
Nice lunch.
Do you think he's run away from the squirrels? Have you seen that squirrel that fakes his own death on YouTube?
No.
It is the funniest thing. When you go onto YouTube, put squirrel faking its own death. It is, honestly, I've watched it 1,000,000 times. I love it. It's so funny.
Well, in between shows today, we're going to introduce Barry Manilow to Barry Manilow, aren't we?
We are going to introduce Barry Manilow to Barry Manilow. Could be the Copacabana. It could be something else. We don't know yet. Whatever Dave chooses it to be, but we are going to have the most fun. It is so pretty. It is so lovely. This collection is extraordinary. It's got all of your dimensions sitting there. You've got that mechanism. You've got all the elements to build a full story to tell. That is the power of Stay a While, this collection. When we do launch, it's never, ever nothing. Launch week is about bringing you the most powerful dies you might ever own. And this collection is absolutely that.
Oh my word. In one show and a little Facebook Live tease yesterday, half of the entire stock of this collection has gone. 30% of the nested dies have gone as well. You're loving both of them. Now, just before we go, I just want to show you a few more finished samples. This one here from Sue Dalrymple has brought in the trees on the left and the right hand side. So remember, with the mirror vignettes, you've got lefties and righties, and they marry up beautifully. And she's, of course, given the tree a little bit of dimension and given it a bit of a twirl there, which is very, very good, very successful. But this is telling a story, because you've got the little birds, you've got the little squirrel. The squirrel has got an apple ready to munch away on, and it's obviously fallen from the tree. So you can really tell stories with this. Again, don't forget that church. The church didn't feature in the demo, but it's certainly featuring very, very prominently in the collection. It's absolutely magical, bringing in those nested dies.
There's bird feeders as well.
Oh yeah.
They're so cute.
So sweet. And then don't forget, of course, the main frame, which is in your main collection. That is quite amazing as well. And it creates that theatre scene. It does. It draws you in. It takes you to that place that either you remember or that you've got in your mind's eye, that you've got in your brain thinking, I'd love to live in the countryside one day, or go for a trip or a visit there. The swing's included too. And as Carla showed you in the demonstration, that pop-up mechanism folds flat for postage, but then of course it just gives you even more dimension and draws you even further into the scene that you can be creating. So it is called Stay a While, or in my case Move In, because I love it so much. What you've got here is 240806. 240, 240-806. You get all of these dies, and of course the vignettes and the artwork to go with the dies are on Carnation Crafts website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Go to downloads, free downloads, and then you'll see the artwork there, and you can print those off as many times as you like. There's also backing papers there as well, and inserts, I believe, as well. They're free for you to print off too. That's their way of saying thank you for buying the collection. Another way of saying thank you is to give you and give everybody an initial discount on launch. This isn't available anywhere else for the time being, not until later in the week. So you're getting it first. It will be dispatched instantly. It will leave this afternoon if you order now. It might even be with you as early as tomorrow, which is fantastic. And yeah, what a collection this is. And again, you can incorporate previous collections into this as well and make it go even further, be even more adventurous with it too. The only other thing to remind you about is the perfect papers, because of course, if I just again pick up that card and pop that next to the perfect papers, you can see that, who did that one? Janine Dawson did that one.
Look at the pink tones coming out on the fence as well as the roses. You see how
exactly.
it works? The pink in the cottage starts to show when you hand it next to pinks and greens and creams.
And Janine has used that pattern perfect paper as the outside, but equally you could just use the plain colour if you want to. But she's mixed up a good, two colours of the green, the light and the darker green there, to make that three-dimensional frame. So perfect papers, if you're spending £109.99 on a collection, for another £14.99 it makes financial sense to make your collection even more
versatile.
Make it to go even more versatile, and to make it go even further. 240-820 for your perfect papers if you would like those. And again, it's free P&P, remember, if you're spending over £50, so add that into your order if you'd like to, and it will be on its way with the dies. But just to show you again what Carla's done, it is spectacular. It's a beautiful, beautiful card she's made. We've got another show at 11, and then a further show after that at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And if we have any stock, 2 shows tomorrow, different times tomorrow, though, aren't they? 3 o'clock and...
Yeah, I'm late. I've got to go to the hospital in the morning. So the shows tomorrow are going to be at 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
So check, but we're
3.
here today. So just make sure you watch the demo. So in the next one, I probably won't demo this one. I will demo some of the nested and look at different ways of using it in that way as well. So you're getting a full scope today of everything that you're getting in this collection. Don't forget to grab your nested. When you see it come into play, I'm going to steal this Taz from set so you can shout at me later. I just want to show you this though. When we talk nested, this is not just any nested.
Look at that.
This is Carnation's nested. And that's the difference.
And the last words go to Karen Richardson on Facebook. Stunning card. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in an hour after we've gone and played with Barry Manilow. Have a great morning,
wrong, Dave.
and more demonstrations on the way. So see you a bit later on.